So we're just going to begin today in child's pose. Bring your knees about the width of the mat if you can, and bring your big toes together. And then slowly work your way down into a child's pose. Bring your awareness to your breath. And feel the rise and fall of your chest. Feel the mat underneath you. And just begin to clear away any thoughts that are still bugging you from the day, or any to-do lists. See if you can just put those aside. Take a breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And curl your toes underneath you and send your hips up to the sky for downward facing dog. Just walk out your feet a little bit, so bend one knee, straighten the other, and then change. Just figuring out what's going on with your hips, with the backs of your legs. Just see how you're feeling. And then find stillness in your downward facing dog. Take an inhale, step both feet forward. Bend your knees, bring your feet hip distance apart, and take ragdoll pose. So just grab opposite elbows and let your body hang here. Your head is a dead weight. Give yourself a shake side to side, forwards and backwards. And just be still. Let the blood rush to your head, bringing nice fresh oxygen into your brain. Release your hands. And then slowly start to just curl up your spine, stacking each vertebra on top of the other. Let your shoulders slide naturally down until you find yourself standing upright with your head stacked. Take an inhale, reach up with your hands, stretch up to the sky. Bring your hands to your heart center. Take an inhale, reach up to the sky, look up. And as you exhale, dive forward. Still keep a bend in your knees here if you need to. Take an inhale, come up halfway. You can bring your hands to your shins or even to your thighs if you need to. Just keep a long, straight back. And then as you exhale, plant your hands and step back. Drop your knees to the floor and hug your elbows in as you lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Curl your shoulders open. You can keep your legs dropped here if you want. And then curl your toes, send your hips back. Downward facing dog. Keep walking out your feet if you need to. Movement is your friend. And then be still. Keep your gaze between your toes or up at your navel. And take an inhale. Step both feet forward. Come up halfway. Keep a long spine. And exhale, forward fold. Take an inhale, roll up through your spine. Reach up for the sky. When you get to the top, look up. And bring your hands to your heart. Take an inhale, reach up, look up. And as you exhale, swan dive forward, sending your chest down first. Take an inhale, come up halfway. And as you exhale, plant your hands, step back to high plank. Drop your knees if you need to here, or lower down to low plank. Chaturanga, hug your elbows in. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. One breath here. On your next inhale, step both feet forward and come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Release tension from your neck. And then inhale, roll up, rise up, reach for the sky when you get to the top. And take Anjali Mudra with your hands. Inhale, reach up, rise up. Wiggle your toes together. And sit down for chair pose. Your hands can still be here at your heart center. They can be out like this or overhead. Take whichever variation you need to. Take an inhale, reach up with your hands. And exhale, see if you can sit a little bit lower. Check over your knees. You still want to be able to see your toes. Take an inhale, reach up with your hands. And as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. And then exhale, plant your hands, step back. Lower yourself down. Chaturanga Dandasana, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale, send your right foot up behind you. Keep your toes facing down and your foot active. Step it forward. Take warrior one. So spin your left foot out. And sit as deeply as you can into your hips here. Keep pressing away with the knife edge of your left foot and keep your toes spread on the mat. Take an inhale, reach up with your hands. And as you exhale, come down. Frame your foot, step back to high plank. Hug your elbows in as you lower down, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale, send your left foot up behind you. Keep your toes facing down. Foot is active. And step it forward. Take warrior one. Keep the pit of your belly lifted. So pull it in and up. So you're really strong through your center line. And your arms are active like you're holding a really heavy watermelon. Take an inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, come down, frame your foot, step back. Lower down, low plank. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Take a breath in through your nose. Out through the mouth. Take an inhale, step both feet forward. Halfway lift. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, begin to roll up. Rise up. When you get to the top, reach for the sky. And bring your hands to your heart center. Take an inhale, reach up. Wiggle your feet together. We're going to sit into that little chair again. Keep hugging in. Imagine that there's a rope between your feet and your knees. So you're really clawing into your center line. Take an inhale, reach up with your hands. And exhale, sit a little bit lower. Inhale, reach up. And then as an exhale, come forward, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, keep your spine long. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to high plank. Hug your elbows in as you lower down. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale, send your right foot up to the sky, toes face down. Bring it forward for warrior one. Reach up for the sky, hold that watermelon. It's very heavy. Strong arms. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Take an inhale, reach up. And then exhale, come down, frame your foot. Step back. High plank, lower to low plank. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Take an inhale, send your left foot up behind you. Keep your foot active. Step it forward. Warrior one on the left. Keep your toes spread on the mat. Shoulders are away from your ears. You're pressing your hips down to the floor. Take an inhale, reach up with your hands. And exhale, come down, frame your foot. Step back to high plank. Lower down, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale, step forward, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up. Whew, yes. Rise up, reach for the sky. And bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale, reach up, rise up. Nice and long. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. And then exhale, plant your hands, step back to high plank. Stay in your high plank, and you're going to swivel your way over into the knife edge of your left foot, coming into a side plank. Your left hand reaches up, and your gaze is either down, or if you can shift it up to your right hand, do so. Keep pressing your hips up away from the mat. Keep your feet active. And really press into the mat with the left hand, so you're not collapsing into your shoulders. Come back to center. Send your hips back, downward facing dog. Come forward, high plank. Roll yourself onto your right hand and your right leg. And send your left hand up to the sky. Side plank. You can also drop your right knee here. If this is too much for you, you can come onto your forearm. This is hurting your wrists. Wherever you are, you're breathing. Steady breaths. Come back to center. Send your hips back. Take an inhale and send your right foot up to the sky. Toes face down. Bend your right knee and stack your hips open. And then slowly, you're going to come onto your right foot behind you for wild thing. So your right hand comes off of the floor, and then you're going to spin your chest open to the sky, pressing your hips up. And your voice sounds a bit funny like mine. Keep your feet active, keep your hands active. Bend the left knee, and find your way back into downward facing dog. Breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Take an inhale, send your left foot up to the sky, toes face down. Then bend your left knee, stack your hips open. And then you're going to work that left foot down to the ground behind you, bringing the weight off of your left hand, pressing into the right, and opening up through your chest. Keep pressing your hips up, spinning your chest open. Stay strong in your right hand. And breathe. Bend your right knee. Left hand comes back to the ground. And take downward facing dog. Take an inhale. And exhale. Your next inhale, step forward. Come up halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Rise up on the inhale, curling up through the spine. And reach up. Bring your hands to your heart center. Whew. Inhale, reach up, look up. Wiggle your feet together. Then you're going to come back to your seated chair. Bring your hands to your heart center. Plug your thumb bones into your chest as you prepare for a twist. You're going to bring your left elbow to your right knee and the twist. And lift your gaze. Really press into your knee with your elbow. From here, I'd suggest you look down, unless you have great balance. You're going to shuffle your weight over into your right foot so that the left foot comes to lift. And so you're bringing yourself into a twisted lunge. Return your gaze to the ceiling. Then release the twist. Send your hands up. You come into a normal lunge. Keep pressing the weight away from you on your back foot. From here, see if you can start to shift your weight forward so that you come and move into a warrior three, maintaining your balance, sending your left foot up to the sky, reaching forward with your hands. Keep your belly lifted and engaged. And imagine I'm pulling you from your feet to your hands in opposite directions. And release. Take ragdoll pose. In your ragdoll, grab opposite elbows the weird way. So not the way that feels normal. If you need to bend your knees here again, you can. Give yourself a shake side to side, front and back. Just releasing everything that you're holding on to from that pose. Release your hands with a thud. Start curling up the spine. Till you get to the top. Reach up. And bring your hands to your heart center. Wiggle your feet together. And we're going to sit back down into our chair. Sit nice and strong in your chair. Plug your thumb bones into your chest as you twist. And your right elbow comes to your left knee. Lift your gaze if you can. Maintain your breath. If you can keep your gaze here, great. If not, bring it down. You're going to shuffle your weight over into your left foot so your right foot starts to lift. Then send that right foot back. So we come into a twisted lunge. Woo! Keep pressing into your knee with your elbow. It's aiding that twist from that navel. Release the twist. Come back into a lunge. Press the heel up away from the toes. Take an inhale, reach up, and then start to come forward, moving into a warrior three. Your right foot is engaged, your heel pressing up to the sky. Use your glute to power that heel up. And release. Take ragdoll pose. And just give yourself a little shake. Side to side. Backwards, forwards. Ooh, that's good. I love warrior three. Take a breath in through your nose. And release your hands with a thud. Inhale, roll up through your spine. When you get to the top, reach up. Bring your feet together. And then you're going to start to slowly sit back into your chair. Keep your hands lifted. But you're going to go past the chair point. So you're lowering your bum to the floor. Do it as gently as you can. Plop. And then when you get to the floor, bring your hands parallel. Come onto your toes. Lift your chest up to the sky. Maybe bring the right leg up. Maybe bring the left leg up. Navasana. Or if you want to fancy Navasana, you can straighten out your legs. Whatever you're doing, your toes are active. Your chest is rolled up to the sky. Breathe. Long, steady breaths. And release. Sink your knees in. Give yourself a little shake. We're gonna go one more time. Hands come out. Shift the weight into your sit bones. Come up onto your toes. Lift your chest. Maybe the right leg comes up. Those toes are active, remember? Maybe the left leg comes up. Maybe that's all we're doing today. Maybe we're straightening out the legs. Lifting the chest up, roll your shoulders away from your ears. Check that sticky spot between your eyebrows. Make sure you're not grimacing. And release. Right, hands come back out. Slowly, slowly, slowly with control. Start to lower yourself down to the floor. When you get to this point where it feels really tricky, just slow down right through that. Go even slower until you come to lie on the floor. We're going to take a bridge pose, so bring your feet in as close to your bum as you can. And they're about hip distance apart. Take a glance at your knees. See the width between one and the other. And try to pay attention to that. As you move into your bridge, see if you can maintain that width. So take a breath in. As you exhale, and lift your hips from the floor. Follow the movement, coming up your spine, slowly curling up, keeping that width between your knees so your thighs are engaged. When you're as high as you can, come up onto the tops of your shoulders, interlace your fingers underneath you and press your palms together. Press your hips up to the sky. Keep your thighs active, so you still want to keep that width. Imagine there's a block between your knees. You don't want to drop it. If you have a block, even better, put a block there. Keep pressing your hips up. Pressing your palms together. Pressing into the floor with your arms. Release your hands. Come down off your shoulders. And then start to curl yourself down the same way that you came in, really slowly and with control. So you're lying flat on your back. Hug your knees in. Give yourself a little wiggle. And then be still. Now send both legs up to the sky. Keep your feet active. Maybe either flexed or pointed. So flexed and pointed. Whatever you're working with, just make sure that you have attention there. You're aware there. You can stay here, or you can take shoulder stand. Bringing your hands underneath your hips. My voice will definitely go funny here. And then slowly working your hands further up your back until you're bringing your hips to stack over your shoulders. Staying active through your feet. Make sure you're still breathing here. Press your hips up to the sky. And then you can slowly start to drop your feet behind your head for plow pose. You really want to try and keep your legs straight here. And then once your feet are on the floor, you can interlace your fingers, press your palms together, and then see if you can create some height. Pressing your hips up to the sky. Still maintain your breath. If you're struggling to breathe here, just come out of it. There's no point being here if you can't breathe. Then release your hands. And you're going to curl down, but use your hands underneath your hips to support you coming down. Slowly, 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 until you're flat on the floor. And then send your legs out. Let your body sink into the mat. Be heavy. Bring your left knee in. Hug it into your armpit. And you're going to send it over and across your body for a supine spinal twist. Rest your right hand very gently on top of your knee. Left hand falls out to the side. Close your eyes. Really submit to gravity here. If your knee is really hovering high off of the floor, just place a block underneath it so you feel supported. Your body will really only release if it feels like it's safe to do so. So if you're struggling here, please do use that block, or even 2 blocks. Come back to center. Send both legs out. Then you're going to switch sides, so hug your right leg in. Pull your knee into your armpit. And then send it over and across your body. Left hand rests very gently on the knee. There's no pressure. It's just resting there. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your face is relaxed. If you need more, you can even cactus your arm here. Just find a space that feels really good for you, where you feel supported, and your body can really just release. And then just bring it back to center. Send both feet out, hands come to your sides for Savasana. You want to stay here for at least 5 minutes if you can. Just let your body absorb all of the good things that you've just done for it.